Morning children. In today's science class we will learn about hygiene and microbes from Unit 6 Health and Hygiene. What are some things that you do every day? As soon as you wake up in the morning or as soon as just before going to bed, your daily routines. Dressing up, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, washing your hands regularly, toileting. Yeah, why is it important to do all these things? We have been learning about hygiene in the last few classes. What is hygiene? It is set of practices performed to preserve health. Hygiene refers to conditions and practices that help to maintain health and prevent the spread of diseases. And personal hygiene. Is it important for us to be personally clean? Yes. What is personal hygiene? Practices performed to care for one's bodily health and well-being through cleanliness. Why is it good to be personally hygienic? What are its importance? It is important to keep all parts of the external body clean and healthy in order to maintain both physical and mental health. In people with poor personal hygiene, the body provides an ideal environment for the germs to grow, leaving it vulnerable to infections. To stop microbes, we need to use good hygiene. So, what are some things that we follow as a part of our personal hygiene? Good oral hygiene, taking bath every day or twice a day, haircut, foot hygiene, toileting hygiene, hand hygiene, coughing and sneezing hygiene, and home hygiene. So, germs. You hear about them in many sanitizer and cleaning agent advertisements. Germ is a word that is often used with respect to pathogenic or disease-causing microorganisms. So, how can germs get into our bodies? Food and water can be contaminated by disease-causing germs. Germs can get into the body through the mouth, nose, breaks in the skin and eyes. Once disease-causing germs are inside the body, they can stop it from working properly. What happens if germs get into our bodies? Once germs invade our bodies, they snuggle in for a long stay. They gobble up nutrients and energy and can produce toxins, which are proteins that act like poisons inside the body. Those toxins can cause symptoms of common infections like fevers, sniffles, rashes, coughing, vomiting and diarrhea. So, then we need to know about microorganisms. What are microorganisms? A microorganism or a microbe is an organism which is microscopic, which means it is so small that people can see them but cannot see them with the naked eye. The study of microorganism is called microbiology. Did you know that in your stomach right now is a whole civilization of living things moving around, eating, reproducing and more? The world is full of microorganisms that are too small to see with our eyes. These are called microbes and can usually be seen only with a microscope. Microscopes help to study the structure of microorganisms. With respect to health and medicine, Germs can be divided into 4 broad categories. They are bacteria, fungi, parasites, which includes protozoa, and viruses. So in today's class, we will be learning about bacteria and virus. What are bacteria? They are very small, single-celled organisms. Bacteria are known as the simplest living creatures and have been around for millions of years. They are one of the early forms of life. They can thrive in almost any kind of environment. So they can be found everywhere, even on your eyeball. Bacteria. There are some good bacteria and there are bad bacteria which cause diseases. So today we will see about certain bacterial diseases and their mode of transmission. Cholera. Have you heard about it? Contaminated water is the mode of transmission. Pneumonia, inhalation of airborne droplets from a sneeze or cough. Tetanus, contamination of wounds with the bacteria. Tuberculosis, inhalation of airborne droplets from a sneeze or cough. Typhoid, contaminated food or water. Then we have virus. We hear a lot about coronavirus these days. What are viruses? Virus is an acellular agent that can replicate only inside the cells of other living organisms. Virus can infect all types of life forms like plants, animals, human beings and microorganisms. Okay, they can kill or damage, change the cells and they can make you sick. This is the structure of a virus. In the middle it has the viral genome, the nucleocapsid, then we have the viral tegument, then it has an envelope and an envelope protein. There are several diseases that are caused by virus: common cold, influenza, hepatitis, polio, smallpox, chickenpox, measles and many more dangerous diseases. We will have the virus and bacteria talk to you now.
I am a virus. I am an acellular agent and replicate only inside the cells of other living organisms. I can infect all types of life forms like plants, animals, human beings and microorganisms. I can make you sick.
Bacteria. We are prokaryotic microorganisms. We have a number of shapes and are a few micrometers in length. We live in soil, the ocean and even inside the human gut. Some of us can cause diseases.
So children, in order to safeguard yourself from such infectious diseases, there are certain things that you should follow. Components and recommended frequency of cleaning. Okay, eye hygiene daily every morning and whenever the face is dirty. Hair hygiene weekly twice, preferably once every other day. Body hygiene once or twice a day. Oral hygiene, brushing twice a day, rinsing after each meal. Feet hygiene every day. Hand hygiene every time after touching contaminated surfaces, every time before eating and touching clean surfaces. So children, to stay healthy, wash your hand after coughing or sneezing, after using tissue or handkerchief, after touching any part of your body, before and after eating, after using washroom, before and after cooking.
In today's class, we learnt about the importance of personal hygiene, about microorganisms and diseases caused by bacteria and virus. Hope you enjoyed the class. Have a nice time.